What's going down? Would you Adam and Eve it? Yes, 35 years in Ranveer. I was there for the very first episode, of course. Albert Square, where else would we be on this auspicious occasion? And what a week of tumult and torment it's been for the residents of Walford. What I love about it, whenever you come to Albert Square, the set here in Elstree, there's always a little bit of a frisson with the crew, and they spend more time taking pictures of themselves outside the Vic or with this sign than they do framing me up on this thing. But taking myself out of the yarn, there's plenty to look forward to this week. We've got a sneak peek now of Thursday's episode with Callum in chains and Caught in the Crossfire with Ben and Keanu.
Phil ain't gonna stop coming for you. And after this, Ben ain't either. If they can't make you pay, they'll make your family pay instead. You need to stop this before it's too late.
And here are the boys, of course, very much the stars of our show this week. Living proof that anyone can fall in love here in Walford. Absolutely. Lovely to meet you, Max. Always good to see you, good sir. To see you. And you, and Tony, you, lovely. Ben and Callum, of course, need no introduction. And what a week it's been so far, and it's only Tuesday. No titters, though, is there? No. Carnage. Monday, of course, last night we saw the Queen Vic party boat, Founder, sinking on the Thames. We know there's a body bag on the bank of old Father Time. We know that one much-loved character will bow out in Friday's episode. And in the meantime, all the Walford dynasties get a chance to shine. You lads, as we saw there on Thursday, that's quite your moment. You're ramping it up, sir.
Yes, the stakes are rising, definitely, aren't they? Yeah, so Thursday is kind of the Mitchell perspective of our week of the 35th. Callum being in chains, Keanu being back. So there's a lot of action to come, a lot of drama. A lot of drama indeed. Definitely. And of course we know that Phil is packing on the boat. And if you watched it last night, you know, as you said, the action flashes back and forth. So it takes place sort of 7 hours earlier, much of the drama that we will see unfold on Thursday, because we saw you last night running for the boat. Yes. Very confusing for an old boy like me who's been watching it for 35 years. Confusing really, for me, Rich,
yeah, you're
as well,
stretching
honestly.
my grey matter. But I mean, obviously superb episodes last night. So much more to look forward to. How are you coping, all bloodied up and in chains with Keanu?
He's so I mean, obviously Callum is he's in a bit of a situation at the moment, but you know, we'll have to wait and see how he sort of fares. He might make the boat. He might get out there. He might get himself out a little dinghy.
He did.
Yeah, he's meant to be there.
Obviously, because I've been around the block so many times around the block, I should be on bricks, mate, to be honest. I've seen practically every episode of this show, and I do know, having talked to the cast over the years, that when there is a big stunt like this, whether it be the Vic burning down, let it burn, or whether, of course, you're bobbing up and down on this gin palace on the Thames, it's fantastic getting all the cast together for nights like that, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. And I think that these whole series of eps were filmed over the space of 6 weeks, and normally our blocks are kind of 2 weeks long. So we really put all the punching power into it, and there were late nights, but everybody was kind of involved. So it made the whole process brilliant. And, you know, all the people were getting tired at different times, but everybody came together. The camaraderie was brilliant. It was
great. You the ever-changing Ben? You've been here now a year. I can't believe that, mate.
Oh, I know. It's gone really quick.
Tony, 2 years for you.
2 years now, yeah.
I mean, it just flies by. As I say, I remember sitting down and watching the very first episode, and Tish, Letitia Dean, of course, who plays Sharon, and Adam Woodjow, Ian, of course, another person who needs no introduction, in the very first episode. That's the first time I saw teenagers my age, if you like, in a show, and they were actually telling our story.
Your stories.
Yeah. And I suppose you must get a lot of that now, because you're very much at the front of the engine of the culture today, aren't you?
Massively, and I mean, like, you know, obviously Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that is a way now for, like, fans to communicate with us as well, you know, and to reach out and say, like, this story's really affected me in this sort of way, and that's a really lovely thing to sort of hear, and people in the street who sort of go, like, oh, you know, that feels like that's my life, and that, particularly with the coming out story, that was a big thing, and a lot of, like, lovely messages and people saying lovely things in the street. It's really, that's what we do it for.
A lot of support. There is a lot of love for your coupling on the show, and you said to me as well, didn't you, Max, it's the working class lads who happen to find love that people have really responded to.
Yeah, and commonality, I think, Rich. I mean, like, exactly what I said to you, the story came out of two two similar working class lads who both had problems in their families with their dads, and they came together, found a common bond, and you know, love can be born out of anything, I guess.
They're both from that sort of broken background as well, you know. They've both come from sort of broken homes, like all that sort of thing. Like a dad who doesn't really get it or understand them. Do you know what I mean? And then they sort of found each other at the right times. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really lovely.
Well, the
thing
show,
to
of
play.
course, has broken many boundaries over the years. My particular favourite was Kathy's knitting machine. I'm old enough to remember that. And of course, there was the Jeopardy of Lou Beale on a commode. Yes, that was one to watch.
Yeah.
So they've certainly ramped up the drama recently. But I, for one, have loved it when these anniversaries come along. It's looking at the old archive footage, the old pictures of people having a carve up at the Vic at Christmas. As I say, the likes of Gillian Telford, who I spoke to recently about it, and she cannot believe it. Well, for a start, I can't believe how good she looks. That's a story for another time.
She's phenomenal.
But she was saying, you know, back in the day when EastEnders hit the papers and it was this massive phenomenon and stuff, she went to a shopping mall in Croydon, and this woman, she heard her say, I touched her, and that's when Jill knew that, you know, this was.
I sometimes do that. I sometimes do that now when I touch. I just touch Gillian Telford.
Yeah, well, when you're in the orbit of those big names, of course, and you do a lot of your work with Steve, who's a legend, you know, it's hard to imagine the square without him.
Yeah.
Did he give you any tips when he started? Was it a bit like that? When you started off?
No, I mean, listen, Steve is a powerhouse performer. He's a consummate professional. And ultimately, he just wants to get the best job done. So I think the great thing about Steve is he can turn any scene and any partnership to work because he knows exactly how to get the job done. And he's always been amazing with me, always. Since the very first time I stepped on set, the first day was with him.
Are you trying to tell me, Max, that family is everything?
Family means
Everything. I knew we'd get there in the end. Celebrating 35 years of Wolford. There's an episode every night this week, of course, and we know that someone dies by the end of the week. I don't even know if these lads are working today. I think they came in very especially to talk to me. Not surprisingly, everyone at GMB, so I don't know whether you're going to make it, lads. But I'll tell you what, I could do with a body bag. I'm freezing.
Tell me about it.
Bit nippy down there.